Good evening, everyone. It's Dan's All About Arsenal 1886. We're back here for our podcast. Josh, my main man, is here to do episode 2. We're going to talk all about the North London derby. Now, slight technical thing. I've had a new introduction made. I need to work out how to use it. So I'm going to try this, Josh. I'm going to have to remove us both, play it, and then bring us back in. So bear with me. Yeah, I want to know what your thoughts are, really, to be fair. So, ready for this? All right, I'm going to drop you out. That's what it's all about. What do you think?
Sweet as a nut, mate.
It's quite cool, isn't it? Quite cool. But I've got to learn how to use it properly, so I don't have to keep clicking in and out. Bit of a nightmare. But I hope you're okay. But really, it's our weekly little catch up, to be honest, mate. And we'll see who jumps in, if anyone, for the comments and the boxes. But for me, I think it's a bit of a catch up on how your last week was, what you thought about the international football. Obviously, we've got North London, and I prepared you a special quiz. So,
wow.
This is going to be fun, mate. So anyone who's watching live or following up, I'm going to do some questions at the end, bit of a quiz, something to look forward to. So watch to the end. And obviously I'll do the questions, I'll do the answers after, and we'll see how much knowledge we've got as Arsenal fans. How does it sound? Sound good? Up for the quiz. Good. Absolutely. Yeah. I've done, I'll break you in gently, but I'm actually thinking about doing like a weekly quiz because I've found a place where you can do it interactively and the listeners can do it as well. So see, I'm gonna roll it out, Josh, and Quizmaster Buck. So see how we go. So, mate, tell me about your week. Tell me what you thought about the internationals, injuries, and all of the above, and we can talk all about it.
Yeah, I mean the international break's always a bit of a bore, isn't it? I mean, no one that I know that follows football actually watches the internationals unless it's a tournament, and yeah, I think even though England have done very well, and obviously the first game, two Arsenal scorers, Eze and Saka, so brilliant. That was good for us. But I didn't even know they were playing on Sunday night.
No, literally, I kind of I saw myself and I thought I'll stick it in the background. But
the result come up on social media, and I was like, oh, we played.
Yeah, decent goal.
Yeah,
I think the first game. Obviously, I thought both goals were excellent. To be fair, I think Saka's goal was excellent.
Very well.
Yeah, completely, really, really good. And people jumping in on the live as well. So, hi everyone. There's about 20 people joined us. Josh, I just want to kind of introduce it, but we're here. This is the All About Arsenal podcast again. And anyone who has any questions for me and Josh, we're talking about the last week of internationals. We're talking about the injuries. We're going to get onto the North London derby and your kind of predicted lineups and expectations on scoreline. And then we've got a little quiz at the end. We want you to get involved, see who's got the Arsenal knowledge, and go from there. But myself and Josh, old friends, we're going to be talking about all that kind of stuff. But we've known each other for a long time, both Arsenal fans from birth. And but for us, it's just recapping on internationals from last week. So let us know what your thoughts were on the internationals, especially the Saka and Eze goal, which was for me highlights, I think, from that side. So, but I think Saka first off his weaker foot, I think as right foot, bottom right hand corner, I think was a hell of a goal. But I actually think Eze's finish was better. Although
it was sublime, although you noticed how the sort of the media and stuff were were raving about like Phil Foden, which I'm sure. I mean, I didn't see the whole game, but I'm sure he had a good game. But like they were raving about the ball, and it's just like a simple pass, like
anyone could have done it, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I just don't get this. I don't know. It's like a sort of narrative against Arsenal, isn't it? I suppose. Like,
seems a bit like that. It was really odd because everyone, even Eze at the end,
get that when you're at the top.
No, you do. But then, did you see the interview? They were speaking to Eze, and Eze was like, they were like, "So, what do you think about Phil Foden's pass that made the goal?" And he was like, "Yeah, it was good." Like, it's really
it's
like
awkward,
what?
Though, isn't it? So awkward for him. I felt sorry for him, but
definitely. Yeah. But his finish, mate, was unreal. And that's kind of what would be interesting to see if we see him off the left doing similar things for us with I know Odegaard. I don't think he's going to be ready for this game, but when he does come back, I mean Trossard's been unreal on that side, so I'd be surprised if he's jumping straight in. But rotation wise, for sure.
Yeah, and he offers something a bit different, doesn't he? I mean, yeah, like you say, Trossard's been really good, and he's definitely in form, deserves his place there. But I just think with Eze, he offers you something a bit different from there. He's a bit more direct. He, I mean, again, I know Trossard scored a really good goal against Sunderland, but you know, Eze coming in off that left hand side, I just feel like he's so dangerous, and I think that's more suited to him. Whereas where he's been playing in that Odegaard role, he's obviously been more slightly on the right side, in that like number 10, and I just don't think we've seen the best of him yet. But it's a position that he's not. I wouldn't say not familiar with. Obviously, he's good enough to play there. Good enough to play there for us. But it's I just think it'd be good to see him potentially as we move on to the North London derby and against Tottenham, against the team he nearly signed for, and he's an Arsenal fan. So yeah, I just think it would be quite interesting if he was to start, and maybe start more on the left.
It's set up for an Eze winner against Tottenham, isn't it? Like, surely it's going to happen, because the whole thing in the summer, us poaching them off Tottenham, even the chants that went around, as well, all about Eze leaving, and I think we've probably all heard it, but it was unbelievable. I can see it a bit like Crystal Palace. He pops up, scores a blinder, and I think of Tottenham, it's got to be, isn't it? It's got to be him.
Yeah,
I'd put him down. I'd put some money on. Definitely, I shouldn't. Every time I'm on, I'm gambling. But no, I should think about that. And I think he would be. I think he will stay centrally. I don't think Odegaard will be back. He's still been that 10 role, I think. For me.
Yeah, I think he will be. I think it'd just be a bit more interesting to see if he can have a bit more of a freer role. I think where sometimes we can be a bit too rigid and regimental in like our setup and our positions, where I think sometimes players like that, they need to be a bit freer to kind of get out of them, and I think that's maybe why we haven't seen the best out of Eze yet, because he's kind of felt like he's got to stick to this Arteta regime
plan.
And which is it's obviously it's working, but at the same time I think to get the best out of him, he needs to be a bit freer, and I think him being freer will mean he'll drift more to the left and sort of cut in and things like that. But it'd be interesting to see. It'd be interesting to see what the lineup's going to be, really, I suppose, especially with Gabriel Magalhaes being injured.
Oh, so annoying. That's really wound, I think, most people up, isn't it?
Yeah, and obviously he's been a big player for us over the years, especially in the North London derby. He's come up with some big goals for us against them.
He'll be the gutted the most, I think. I think he's the person who's like, I'm going to score against Tottenham of all the places he wants to score a goal. That's the North London derby for him. So he'll be fuming, probably at himself a little bit, because I'd read and heard that there was an element of he trained on his own or something on a Friday because they're worried about the load he's had, a lot of matches and stuff like that.
Right.
And I think ultimately they're kind of like, is it Brazil's for calling him in and friendly, or is it Gabriel going, no, I think I'll be all right, because it's a muscular injury. So you never know, but they count the minutes of how much they've played, so they know kind of what to expect. And around this kind of amount of minutes, it's you need to rest, or you're due an injury. The load's been quite heavy, and I think he has played every Premier League game, I think so.
Yeah. I mean, hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? But
always that's the problem, isn't it? Oh dear, I wish we're not done it.
I think he sort of probably thought that he shouldn't have played, but again, it was at the Emirates, wasn't it? So it was sort of like they probably felt like he's got to play there, and it's a shame. It's a shame that it's happened, but it has, and we've got to deal with it. And I think, again, to be honest, I'm not. not overly concerned, because I feel like Nkape can play there really well. And it might be a good opportunity for him to show what he's all about, because so far he's only had sort of bit part sort of roles to play. Obviously in the Carabao Cup, he got, did he get 90 minutes in that? Did he get a full game?
Yeah, I think he pretty much did, as
Yeah.
far as I'm aware, and I think it's the main time we've seen him properly.
Yeah, and I just
Oh
feel
no,
that would
Slavia
be
Prague as well, didn't he? He
that
played.
would be a natural kind of selection for me, would be to play him. Calafiori, obviously, he had a bit of a knock, but he's okay.
Yeah, I heard that.
Do you know what I feel like in terms of selection? I feel like we should give Lewis Skelly the starting role, just
Yeah,
because just because
completely
it's
agree.
just because it's Tottenham, and I feel like, again, he's just going to give it his all. And the only trouble with him is he can be a little bit hot-headed and fly in with challenges and give it all a bit of that as well. So the chances
That's
of
why
him,
you love it, though.
well, yeah, no, exactly, and that is
Yeah.
that is why we love him. You know, as
Mhm.
an Arsenal player. But I sort of feel like maybe we should give him the start, and then bring Calafiori on if we kind of
Okay.
need to, in terms of keeping him safe from getting sent off, or you know.
Yeah. I kind of agree with you, but I kind of had an idea on the left-hand side as well, thinking maybe bring Lewis in. Calafiori potentially could play left centre or in
Yeah.
Capio. So you could go down a few different options. But if we had to put a gun to your head, Josh, for like your preferred lineup for Sunday, 4:30 at the
Mm.
Emirates, who are you picking? If we starting from the back, go through it. Let's talk it through.
Well, obviously, I'd change Raya. No, I'm joking. Yeah,
He's gone. Yeah.
yeah, he's gone. He's gone. Yeah, Kepa, 100%. No, I'd have Raya, and then from right to left, I'd have Timber, Saliba, Hincape, Lewis Skelly. Then in the middle, I'd have Eze, Rice, and Zubimendi.
Hmm.
And then Saka, probably Marino for now, and Trossard.
So I don't quite know who if we can have anyone back, but you think he's probably going to start them and then chuck some injured
Yeah,
legs coming back.
I can't see him changing it like off the bat, in terms of bringing back like Gyökeres, or even Havertz. I mean, I think the only bonus is the fact that they are supposedly fit, and that, you know, even if we were sort of 1-0 up, with 20 minutes to go, give Gyökeres a go, because he's going to run about, isn't he?
Yeah, like last half hour or so.
Yeah, and even Havertz. I mean, obviously when he came back at the beginning of the season, after being out for however long,
I remember
he
that
looked,
run he did.
well, and he just looked like an absolute machine, didn't he? Like, he's been obviously
He's a
on it.
unit. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, yeah, he's probably had some testosterone boosters. I'm not too sure.
I reckon he's going to be absolutely even more ripped than he was before. But I just
Yeah,
remember that one goal he scored where he just literally out the speed. I've never seen him run so quick. I never know if I've just not noticed, but he's definitely gained some speed as
yeah,
well as bulked up. It was an unbelievable tear to get that goal, and then he was injured since. And it's like brilliant.
yeah,
Thanks
yeah,
very much.
yeah,
All for that one goal. But it's tricky, and I think I agree with you. I think if I'm going, and I think anyone watching, put your thoughts down of who you'd expect, especially at left back, because that is that kind of position, But we're kind of looking at
yeah.
starting lineups, and
I think on that whole left side, even with Trossard, um, I think the only reason why I would start Trossard is, one, he's in form and he's been playing well for us there. But the players that would potentially take his place, like Martinelli, for instance, he's obviously been out, but he's
yeah,
coming back. So again, you don't want to risk it. But yeah, I think in terms of the left side, I think obviously with Gabriel at the back being out, he's got to obviously be replaced. And I think the Calafiori thing's quite interesting to me because I see him as such a sort of forward-thinking like defender. I mean,
much more attacking.
Yeah. So even though yes, he can play at centre back, I don't see him as a centre back at all.
He's had a lot of freedom, hasn't he? In fairness,
where I feel like
in the middle of the field.
What I have seen of him and what I had seen of him at Leverkusen is he would fit that kind of Gabriel role a lot better for me.
Okay, interesting. It is tricky. Josh, I know we're talking about the just how the boxes look. I'm just going to try something really because see if that's any better. Is that better? That's better. We can see. I can see. Yeah, I mean, I can see your beautiful face. Thank you. But yeah, but I'm thinking, so we go definitely going obviously Rare at the back. There's just the left really. That's the real potential change. Obviously, Timber starts. Saliba's going to be there, obviously, and then it's who we put in the middle. So, but I think you're right. I think Nkapia will probably be there. I think he's the more aggressive of what we've got, similar to a Gabriel, I think. And then, but you could see Calafiori coming back left back. Although I think Skelly he absolutely deserves a start there. To be fair, so. But yeah, Zubimendi Rice for sure. Eze, I still think will be there until Odegaard's back. Saka's a guarantee, and Trossard. And I haven't really thought about Marino. I know he's going to be there because we've got people returning, but I could potentially see a Gyökeres coming back or something like that, or like you say, Havertz. It all just depends because they're keeping it cards close to the chest. And I think until we see what Arteta's kind of saying, he's not going to give anything away. Because he's not going to want them to know. Yeah, we'll see in tomorrow's training session or whatever it may be. So no one's going to have a clue really on the lineup at all until match day. I think so. I think everyone's going to be surprised actually what he puts out, and then we've got to save ourselves for Bayern Munich as well. It's going to be a massive game, isn't it?
Well, yeah. And when is that? The Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah.
It will be, won't it? Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, again, with that coming up, you've got to think about the players coming back. So I think there will be changes for that game. Just to, all the players that are basically going to be playing in the North London derby, they've all been playing international football, which is another reason why I say bring in Lewis Skelly in because he's a bit fresher.
He hasn't been playing in internationals. We know, he's not enough game time, which I think he'd benefit from for sure. And
so I
he's
feel
more
like
than capable.
He'd be raring to go for it. And then, but if he didn't, and he went with Calafiori there and stuck with his, his sort of team selection, then I feel like Lewis Skelly might get the start against Bayern Munich because again, I think his game in terms of playing that inverted sort of role where he comes in and sort of makes these mazy runs and stuff like that and offers a bit more in midfield is more suited to European football.
I mean, look at the other games we did play and stuff like that, the space he opened up. And
against Atletico where he set that goal, I mean, that was, classic him. But it was so good to see, do you know what I mean? That's the sort of football that you want to watch and is exciting. Yeah,
for sure. No, it's interesting, and I suppose what you're hoping. I mean, obviously, you want to win. What's your thoughts on? What's your thought on? Goals, predictions on that side.
I think. I mean, since Thomas Frank's gone, I mean, I like Thomas Frank as a manager, and I think since he's gone to Tottenham, I think he will shore things up a lot more. But they're still inconsistent. And to be honest with you, if I look at their team, their squad, the only players that really kind of not frighten me, but kind of I think like they're good players is their centre backs, Van der Ven and Romero. They're the only players I kind of look at and go, yeah, quality they are. Like I mean, Van der Ven's like a robot, It can just run at like 100 miles an hour.
He's been scoring for fun, which is mad. And he's going to be one to watch.
He's one of the ones I kind of feel like we might struggle to deal with if he does make a run or something like that. They'll be like, oh, what do I do? But yeah, apart from that, I'm not really I feel like we should. I don't
Close
want
them.
to say, but I feel like we should be quite comfortable.
You'd think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sticking with my predictions all year round. I'm basically just putting 2-0 in every game because that's kind of what I expect us to win by.
Yeah,
So I'm
actually,
not
do you
going
know
to
what? I
change.
think I would probably match that and say, yeah, 2-0. I think 2-0, and it'll probably be quite a fair result, I think.
Yeah, I just want an early goal. I want to settle it quite
Yeah.
early. It would be nice just because it's always then it get the jeopardy of like, oh, and if you've only got one, then like, well, they score one. Not that we're conceding lots, but obviously last game would have got a PTSD of actually conceding 2 goals. We're still only 5, isn't it, for the whole season, which is still crazy. But I know they want to go for the Chelsea 15 goals, from an old record. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I mean that'd be an amazing thing to achieve, but I just still think, and I think that that's the way that they think, and the way that I'm trying to make them think is, let's get that Premier League title. Let's get more than one title. Let's get the Champions League, or let's get if we're not going to win the Champions League, let's win the Premier League and a cup.
Yeah.
Like the
It would be
Carabao
nice
Cup.
to be a double or the domestic treble. That would be
Yeah.
great. That would be really
And it'd
good.
be nice. It'd be nice to just go really far in everything, and even if we ended up just walking away with the Premier League, I'd be so happy. Like,
Oh my God!
I was
Can you
sort of
imagine
saying, I was
North
having
London?
a conversation with my father-in-law the other day. And like I've said before, he's a big Liverpool fan, and obviously they lost to City, and we were sort of talking about that, and he was saying how one of his mates, who is a Liverpool fan as well, was sort of really down in the dumps about it, and he was like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you like? It doesn't matter. It's not going to affect anyone's lives."
No.
Which is, and that's what I said to him, and that's my kind of view on football. I love it. I love Arsenal, but if we lose, it's not. It's not gonna affect my life. But I did also say to him, I would love to see Arsenal win the Premier League again. It would. I would just absolutely love to see it, because I feel like
That's been 20 years in the making.
Well, yeah, and I just feel like we are a big club, and everyone over the last probably, well, since Arteta's pretty much come in, especially since we're now back in the Champions League as well.
Yeah,
I feel like all of the media's like sort of basically gearing everything up for us, sitting it on a, putting it on a plate for us almost, to go like, here you go. Do you know what I mean? Like they're sort of, all of these, like the Opta statisticians, stuff like that, go that we're the favourites to win this, we're the favourites to win that, and it's like, well, yeah, I'd say we're up there, but we've got to do it. We've just got to do it.
it's still
and
bizarre. The whole favourite thing.
I feel like all these things come in cycles, don't they? So obviously through the sort of late 90s, early noughties, it was sort of us and Man United, and that was it. And then this is obviously more recent history. And then you had the likes of Chelsea come in because they had all the money, and then Man City, they had all the money, and then obviously Liverpool came back into it, but they've only won, they've won 2 now, but at the time, they'd won 1 title, and that was during COVID. So
anyone's no one cares unless we want it, but no, it's true, it is true. And I think, but then what's the frustrating thing was the Man City thing and everything else. It was all days of money, then Chelsea, and then they do it as soon as everyone else decided to start spending money. No, we're going to we can't do that anymore. We've got all these different things we're going to stop that happening. So they've always been ahead of it, and we're finally, I think, spending nearly $1 billion. I think we're 920 odd million we've spent over since Arteta's joined, and we have spent and invested a hell of a lot of money in getting this squad.
It's not just since Arteta's joined. I mean, it's since the Kroenkes have sort of pretty much taken over, basically.
Stepped it up, don't
that's, I think, a sign of what their sports franchises that they have. They want to be winners. In every other sport that they've got a team won. Is it
Rams, Denver Nuggets? Is it the one zone? And
yeah. We're the missing piece in their sort of trophy cabinet, as it were. And
for sure,
I think it would be a good repayment to them as well, to say sort of like, well, thanks for all your support.
Here's some trophies.
But that's my thing, and the sort of the point I was trying to make in terms of like with Liverpool is that yes, they're back in it, and yes, they're they probably will be for several more years. But it would be nice, I think, for us to kind of not only just be in with a chance, but to start winning titles season after season and show some dominance of. Because even when we were successful, it's never been for like really prolonged periods of time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like if we were to win the Premier League this season and then defend it, win it again, then we could go on to end up, doing a bit of a City and kind of, win it for sort of 3-4 seasons on the trot and keep winning trophies.
Yeah. Sure. No, I
Kind of,
agree.
then go down in the, in the record books, not only for potentially doing like the sort of silly things of being like invincible or having the least amount of goals conceded during a Premier League season.
Yeah.
But I just think, let's concentrate on.
I mean, I love a record. I love breaking records from that side, Josh. And I think, like you say, it'd be great to. I think we've got the squad for a young squad for the next X amount of years. We've been competing for the last 3, really. I think we were kind of slightly
properly.
Yeah,
We
properly.
the last 3. This is our 4th sort of season of being really in it.
And we're well in the in the run for it. Obviously, City's the only kind of worry, I suppose. And I think I was just interested to look at. We talked about the North London derby, obviously, and it's always fun to look at head-to-head. So I'm just going to look at the last couple of results because we've been pretty dominant in it. So, we played them in January this year. We beat them 2-1. I do remember watching actually because it was an intense game. To be fair, that was at ours as well. But we beat them 1-0 at their ground.
Yeah,
And the season before 3-2, goals galore. There's always goals, but our defence has actually improved since then. And obviously, Dave. Was that with Postecoglou as well? This must have been as well, which is absolutely bonkers when you look at it. And then obviously back in, so there was a 2-2 draw back in 23. Hasn't got a date on there, which is annoying. And then we beat them 2-0. We beat them 3-1. They last beat us back in 2022 3-0.
Yeah, I remember that. That was at theirs, wasn't it?
But we
the end of the season, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then we beat them 3-1 just before that. So I mean, head to heads, we are very much the dominant force over the last few years. And I think we want to absolutely continue that. And the only thing really that's changed for them is the manager, who I like. I like the guy. I've got no problem with him. Postecoglou was awful, I thought, for the club and Europa League, whatever, against the worst Manchester United team. And it's the first time the Europa League didn't have any from Champions League proper teams dropping down, which was always weird for me anyway. I was like, you haven't made a Champions League, but you can now compete in this league. It never made sense. So I like that they've done that. But it is for any British team going in there, they should be winning that. It's like, look at like West Ham a few years back before Rice came, wasn't it? He won that, and then thanks very much. I'm on my bike. And we've got such a. I think when you look at the differences in values of teams, the Premier League obviously we're worth so much more than a lot of these other clubs who are in these kind of lower level European cups. So fair play. They won a trophy, but I'd never change being 17th and winning the Europa League for where we've been for the last few years. Just never happened.
No.
But yeah, I think it's I'm looking forward to it. I'm not really nervous. I'm just excited to go and watch. I'm not going to watch, but I'll go and watch it probably at home on that day. But I'm hoping to go to the Wednesday game. I'm waiting to hear Josh.
Yes.
So that would be great. But it's going to be a big game, and I think obviously by the time we do this next week, it will be just before the game, so we'll probably do a bit of a recap on obviously the game on Sunday, and obviously it's going to be talking about the Bayern Munich game. It's probably, I would say, the biggest game of our season so far for me, even though the jeopardy's not there in a sense because we've smashed it. We're probably going to settle in the top 8 in the Champions League, but we want revenge. We want to go and beat them, and at least show a good form of ourselves. I think is how I see it and how I want. So I do get to go. I'm going to be screaming my lungs out and hopefully just put up a good performance because I think, you got like the Kanes. Obviously, he scored 2 yesterday for England. He did look on typical form, but he's been scoring for fun. And I don't know, a few years ago, you kind of thought that was him kind of done, and he's just kind of got better. It's weird. I don't think he's scoring goals galore. He's slow, but he's just in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, I think it suits him to be there, really. To be honest with you, that again, that sort of league, it's okay, but it's not the Premier League. And I'm not saying he wouldn't be able to do it again in the Premier League, he probably would score plenty of goals. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a massive Kane lover, if I'm honest. Even when he plays for England, I just don't see. I feel like we've got better strikers that offer something a bit more. But other people will rave about him, his sort of passing ability, and but yeah,
he can ping a ball. I remember watching him against us when he played us, and it was like, wow, he's still got it.
He's a good passer of the ball, and obviously he's a good finisher, and like you say, he gets in the right places at the right time. But
yeah,
which is, I
he's one
suppose,
to watch out for.
what you want from a striker. But
absolutely, yeah.
But I just don't like him.
No. I think you could never like him from a Tottenham Arsenal perspective, even though he was, photoed many years ago as a young boy in an Arsenal shirt, and you go, oh, he supports Arsenal, doesn't he? But it's just, and there's a want for him to go back there, like from, fans and stuff like that, to finish his career off. And I don't know if I see it. I mean, there's talks about him going Barcelona and stuff like that. But I mean, from an England point of view, if he plays well, great. I'm only really excited about England when we're playing in the World Cup. I've not been interested.
Yeah,
in that.
World Cup or Euros, I'll watch the games, and but to be honest, I watch all the games during the tournament. All the games that I can, I'll watch during the tournament. But yeah, outside of that, I don't really watch any of the internationals.
Yeah, for sure. I've got Mark in the chat, Josh. So I think he's just sharing. Fair play, Mark. He's super excited for this game. We can't be fearful without Gabriel. Yeah, I know. I'm so excited about it, and I'm definitely not from a Gabriel point of view. I'm so fortunate, aren't we? I think how much depth we've got, and we've got decent depth. It's not like we're putting in some of the past kind of replacements we had
exactly.
for past games, and I think we've got very good players to replace him. I don't know if you caught it from the start, Mark, but we talked about Nketiah or Calafiori putting in that role, and Lewis Skelly coming out on the left. So there's a few options there. Out of interest, let us know what would you go with? Who would you go on left? Because that left side is very interchangeable and still not lacking quality. So I think we'll be good either way. Josh,
I think yeah, and I think it's more. I wouldn't say it's from an Arsenal point of view, like in terms of fans and players and coaches and stuff like that we're fearful because Gabriel's not going to be playing. I think more of a that's the media and their like narrative of saying that without him, he's such a leader and all this, which he is. But I feel more disappointed for him because this is the sort of game that he loved, and to miss it, he's going to be gutted, isn't he?
100%.
And that's so that I wouldn't say there's a fear from us in terms of that. I think it's more of just a disappointment for him because he relished them sort of games. But I think it's a good opportunity as well for the likes of potentially Nketiah to show us what he's about. I mean,
he's always been bought in. Let's be honest,
Yeah, exactly. He captained Ecuador, didn't he? During the internationals.
Was it 0-0? I think they were.
Yeah, and he's another captain of national team, and you look at all of our players, and literally all of them have captained the national teams. And yeah, it's like Arteta's building this sort of this team and squad of leaders, which I love. I think it's great. I think that's why I remember hearing a couple of interviews fairly recently from Tony Adams, obviously, absolute club legend. But I just feel like he started to talk some real drivel because
he's digging out Odegaard.
Yeah, saying he isn't a leader. Rice should be the captain and all this, which I think Rice would be a very good captain. But I just feel like he doesn't understand because he's
not in that dressing room, is he?
No, and he's a bit. I think, and that's why he didn't work out as a manager as well, because he's a bit like Neolithical in his sort of thought process.
I mean, he's the old school, isn't he? Let's be honest. It's I love Adams as a player and everything else. I never really saw him as a manager or anything like that, but he was a big leader in the dressing room. But I think times have changed, and it's
absolutely.
I think Odegaard has always just shown it in performance, and obviously they did the vote, didn't they? Arteta mentioned at the start of the season, everyone voted, unanimously for Odegaard to be the captain, including your Saka's your second in charge essentially because of I think of time there being the most important player probably for us as well as Rice, Gabriel. So yeah.
I think with Odegaard, there's so much that you don't see, like in terms of like I don't know, like sort of like bit behind the scenes stuff that even though there's normally cameras behind the scenes, isn't there, with all these like documentaries and stuff that you get, but there's bits that you don't see that you then can't appreciate actually what he's like as a person in terms of his leadership and.
No. We see nothing, mate, on that side.
Well, yeah, and it's like sometimes if you've got a group of friends, which I used to many years ago,
before you get old,
before you have kids and get old. But if you've got a group of friends, sometimes it's people might go like, "Oh, you got to watch out for the quiet one," or, do you know what I mean? And it's like it's actually they're the ones that are kind of running things.
Yeah,
they're the ones that are kind of organising stuff, or
interesting
prizes for people, just like stuff like that. And I feel like that's him. He's like the quiet one, but everyone respects him. Everyone would go to him for advice. Everyone would. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's the way I see him as a captain.
I mean, he's been my favourite player. Until maybe last season because where he dropped off a little bit, but I'd always respect him as a captain every game. Yeah, that was, but every game you see him, he's always the last on the pitch, like clapping in the crowd and staying and walking around, and there's so much respect for him there. And I think, and it says, isn't it, Arteta's kind of he's Arteta on the pitch, So you may not see him shouting at people having a go, but he knows exactly what he wants from everybody, and people. It is a respect thing, I think. Rice is a very respectful guy, and he would never say anything. I'm no doubt if he had the opportunity, obviously he'd love to, but he knows there's a hierarchy. Let's be honest, you've come in to the club, there's other people who've been here longer, established, and they're there for that reason, and he's very respectful as a player.
Well, yeah, and again, like I said earlier, that's why I think he's picked a lot of these players, because they're all leaders. So it's not a case of, it's a collective. They all work together, and that's the way I see our team and our squad, is that we are a complete collective. Again, you look back at teams from the past, and not just in Arsenal, but in other teams, there'd always be singled out, like duos or trios, or do you know what I mean? There's like singled out players, whereas I feel like we're such a collective that there's not really someone that you go like, oh yeah, that team completely revolves around Saka, for instance. Yeah, Saka's amazing. He's one of our best players without a doubt, and he's Arsenal through and through. But it doesn't revolve around him. It's everyone's
true. It is, it's a big thing. And thanks, Mark, again. Interesting, Mark. So Mark says he wishes Declan Rice was playing for Ireland. Look at what was missing out last night. I mean, Ireland been on a tear the last two games, and I saw the clip of is it Zoboslai who was going at this, and then he went and scored 3, and pretty much qualified for the playoffs, haven't they? So fair play to Ireland.
I saw the player Parrott, or whatever his name is, that's got the hat trick. I was like, who on earth is he? I've never heard of him. And then he plays for AZ Alkmaar or someone, doesn't he? In the
Eredivisie. I just heard it, mate, and I just saw the
because I thought, he must be like a championship player or something, because like you say, I've never really heard of him. But yeah, I always like to look up these sort of people, because I think, where on earth have you come from?
You do see these, and that's what I like about the World Cup, because you are seeing players you probably wouldn't see for these obscure countries and teams and stuff, but actually they're decent players, and fair play to them. I mean, I'm all for Ireland and getting through and everything else, so very much look out and look forward to them joining everyone in the World Cup if they can qualify in the playoffs. But I just love, especially when you've got a Liverpool player going there, taking the mick in, and because they're 2-0 down, they come back 1-3-2. I thought it was unbelievable. I didn't see the game, but I saw the result, and I was like, that's perfect. I love that stuff. The underdog story wins always. So, but no, that's good. And we've got a few more people in the chat. So is there any questions while we got me and Josh? Because we're going to go into a quiz in a bit. Well, if no one wants to ask any questions, we'll go to a bit of a quiz, which I promised Josh and gave him no notice of, because I want to test his Arsenal knowledge. And so, but any questions, we'll do. You've got a little bit of a Q&A bit if people want to kind of chat. I've got a little bit here I can put up. So let's have a look. Got some cool things we can put like Q&A. There you go. Any questions that people want to chuck out there for us? Obviously, we've been talking very much about the last week, the Tottenham game coming. And obviously next week we've got Bayern Munich, which is going to be a tough game, but I think a really good way to see where we are as a team. But any questions before we go into the quiz? If not, we will go into the quiz, and I'm going to test you, Josh, and get your kind of Arsenal knowledge out there. Are you ready for this, mate? It's all right. You'll be all right. But it is a bit. I've seen a few bits. There's a guy who goes around on TikTok before every match game, and he comes out with an Arsenal shirt.
Yeah.
And he always goes, right, you need to tell me which player's worn his shirt the last 5 players. So I want to touch on that. But I've just had Vinny. Vinny's in the chat from the other night on the phone in. Hi, Vinny. So Two Guns Boxing is Vinny, or Guna Vinny. And hope you're doing well, pal. Let's have a look at what he's asking us. So by how many points do we win the league? That's a tough question, and it's a quick maths, really. But points wise, I think when you look at previous seasons, that's what you've got to look at. But I think we can't drop too many points. I think when you look at the likes of Liverpool, I mean, they lost 5 already. So that's why they're kind of, for us, they're out. We've only lost the 1. I think Man City's lost 3 games. We've got to avoid the drawing too many.
I think that's really where we came unstuck last season. We just drew far too many games, and
the lower clubs.
I feel like this season that's what's going to be the difference, is the fact that we're going to win more. But I do think it's going to be tight. Bear
in mind, we're saying.
I feel like we're probably going to finish 4 points clear of Man City. I do think Liverpool will go on a run of winning games, so I don't think they're dead and buried like a lot of people think they are. But I do still see that being the top 3. I feel like we'll win by 4 points. We'll be clear by 4 points.
So more clear by. So when we look at it now, I'm just looking at the league at the moment. So we're top at 26, 11 games. So before on game 10, we were 25 points. Obviously, we had the draw with Sunderland. So if we're going on that basis, we have, if we look at it like that and go, we're going to win literally like we have now. We're going to have 100 points times is 40 games minus 2 losses. So it's 94, but that's a hell of a points run. So
I'd probably think on about 90.
Yeah, high 80s, early 90s is kind of, I think, where it will be. But Vinny, mate, drop it in the chat. Where do you think we'll end up? Where do you think we need to be to win? Because he's gone all 4 points clear. I like that. I think 7 points clear. The more the merrier, Vinny. With you.
It'd be nice to just absolutely walk away with it and show that sort of dominance that I've spoken about in this and the last podcast. Really trying to dominate the Premier League for the next decade, really.
For sure.
Yeah.
And this was, Josh, I know you're in the chat box, but Vinny asked this very same question, and I'm going to put it back to you just before we go into the quiz. So he said to me, and you may have seen the clip, was Champions League or Premier League?
Yes.
Pick one?
Premier League for me.
Premier, okay, interesting.
Yeah, just because I feel like I know what you said in terms of we've never won the Champions League. Obviously, the last European trophy we won, and I don't know if it's the only European trophy we won, was the Cup Winners' Cup.
George Graham.
Yeah, I do actually remember my uncle went to that game.
Was that the Butcher?
Yes, yeah. I just feel like the Champions League will come, but I feel like we need to. I mean, the Premier League is the best league in the world, without a doubt. It's the most competitive. It's it's the hardest. I just feel like we need to start with that, and then
fair play.
I feel like maybe if not next season. I mean, I'm not writing off doing both. I feel like we could do it.
Exactly what I said.
I do feel like we could do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I if I had a preference or whatever you want to call it, then if I only choose one, it would be the Premier League.
Interesting. Okay, I'll take both. But no, I get you. There's no right or wrong. It's just actually people's preference sometimes. And people in the chat, people watching, what would you prefer? I think it's a really interesting question to see kind of where people's heads are at. If you had to pick one, gun to your head, if it was Premier League, Champions League this season, what would you pick? Let us know. But so otherwise, we're going to move on to a little quiz. So I want people to chuck in, help out Josh. He might need some. He may need this. But I've got, let me bring this up on screen. So the questions I have prepared. Here we go. So I'm going to start, I think, with a slightly easier one. So talking about the shirts for players, Josh. So I'm going to start with the last 5 players, including the current, who wore the number 10 shirt. So it doesn't matter what order you want to give them, but have a little think. People in the chat, feel free to chuck in some names. We know the current number 10, Josh, I'm sure.
Yeah, so do we? Yes, that's Eze, isn't it?
No pressure. Eze, correct, mate. Correct.
Eze, Ozil.
Yep. Nice. Now we've got some absolute legends in here as well. If you want a clue, let me know.
Bergkamp.
It's just past that. So he's before the person who took over from Bergkamp. I can give you clues. I'm happy to.
Please.
We don't. So he left us, went to Man United, and I don't think we ever forgave him. It was one of my. No, it wasn't Sanchez. I think he was number 11 or different, maybe 17, wasn't he? So
he went to Man United from us then.
Robin.
Oh, Van Persie.
He was number 10, mate, for 2010 to 2012. I'm sure he was longer here than there. So next one, he's just taken over his first managerial job at Luton.
Oh, Wilshire. Yeah. Yes, he was 10. Yeah.
And obviously we've recently lost this Academy Hale End graduate, which we all loved very dearly.
Smith Rowe,
we didn't want him to go. Yeah, Smith Rowe. So it's tough, man, isn't it? When you think about it, you go, oh my God. I'm like,
and when you're on the spot,
right. It's only going to get worse. And then one more. So one more for the shirt number, because this was an interesting one, I thought, and I thought it was also doable. And obviously put the love in the chat. I've got a few other comments before we move on to the next one. Let's give Josh a little break. We're going to talk about the number 14, Josh. I'll let you have a little think while I put up some comments here. Let's have a look. Premier League for sure. It'll be nice for this group. Agreed. I think we've got some Tottenham fans in here. Tottenham are champions of Europe. They're the Europa. It's not Champions League, mate. There's some Tottenham fans in the chat. And we got, what else are you saying? Tottenham are the best. We are going to beat you. I'm sure you'll give it a good go. But given last few seasons, I don't see it myself. But come back and chat to us on Monday if you do, and you can rub it in. But it's going to be a good game. I just don't, when Richarlison's scoring, I will smash the telly. But we're going to go on to the number 14, Josh. Number 14 shirt. So we've got a current, obviously, player who wears it.
Gyökeres, Henry.
Yep.
Was there anyone in between that then?
Yeah. So he's gone to Crystal Palace more recently. Young Highlander, I think, as well.
Went to
Crystal. Some silence here.
What, Nelson?
No, wasn't him. Who else went
there? Rob Holding went there.
Was it? Oh, am I getting this wrong? Maybe Eddie.
Oh, Eddie
Palace. Yeah, did he go Palace?
Yeah.
I'm doubting it now. I've said it.
Was he?
Yeah, he was. And obviously, I mean, you got some phenomenal players. So who we thought was kind of replacing Henry, who now is very much on Sky Sports and all that kind of stuff. He does a lot of punditry.
Walcott. Yeah, Walcott.
Yep, fantastic player.
Yeah.
And then kind of at the start of Arteta's tenure, we had the one in the middle. He left on bad terms.
Aubameyang.
That's it, Josh. So it's not too bad, mate. You're not too bad. Done all right.
We're going to just
need some help. I mean, some of these questions are going to be tough. But I did an easy round, and I was like, no, these are too easy. And then I've just got a few others. Won't do too long.
Ones.
I just thought it's interesting to see because the amount of times on this, a guy comes up and people don't know it. It's really hard. Number 9, I tried to do, and I was like, I have no idea. That was really, really tough. I'll do that for next week. Let you research, mate. But if we've got a couple of questions here, but this is going back some. This is going back to '96, where Patrick Vieira was signed. 1996. So I know would have been about 11 if giving our age away. But would do you remember where Patrick Vieira come from in 1996, Josh? I mean, I probably wouldn't have known this myself. Give it a good guess. Italian club.
It was AC Milan, wasn't it?
It was, mate. God, 10 points, Josh. That's fantastic. It was really, really good. And I think we've got a few people in here. Tottenham still in Champions Europe. Are you annoyed? The Tottenham guys are loving it. Eddie, obviously back there. Well done. 2 guns as well. We're annoyed. I've just realised who Tottenham home is. I reckon this is someone I know as well. So I'll get you tomorrow. Right, we had Highbury, fantastic stadium. I actually had season tickets with my dad in this last season at Highbury 2006. So question is, we were playing Wigan. Who scored the last goal at Highbury 2006? If you had to guess.
It was Henri, wasn't it?
It was Henri, Josh. That's great knowledge, mate.
Yeah, my dad was there as well. He was at that game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love it. Absolutely love it. And then obviously we've got here. So
because everyone got T-shirts, didn't they? Didn't they lay out T-shirts?
Oh, yeah.
And I was there basically on the last game at Highbury. Yeah.
I remember we also got Christmas. We got like Santa hats. They had them all the chairs, and me and my sister went. I still got that somewhere today. It's decent as well. Trying to look at some. Okay, so our invincible season, we went unbeaten for 49 games, and the run in 2004. But which team ended this?
Man United.
Oh, mate, it's good. He said this is not bad. He's got it. Yeah, fair play, Josh. He's all over it. I don't need to give people a chance in the chat. Josh is motoring through. Okay, what else have you got? Do you remember Thomas for Vermaelen?
Yeah. I really like a footer like me.
He's a good player. Which team did he internationally represent?
Belgium.
Josh is on fire, guys. He's actually flying. Okay, 2006 Champions League final. Which Arsenal player was sent off? And I remember this really well.
Jens Lehmann.
Yeah, it was. Oh, shocking, wasn't it? That was it. That was gone, wasn't it? After soon
watching games, it was gutting, wasn't it? I think. I think regardless of the sending off, which obviously didn't help, I thought we were the better team and was unlucky.
It was really tough. Now, this is interesting because this is kind of relevant to this season. And this is a bit of a shot in the dark, but I think it's an interesting answer. The invincible season was obviously 2003, 2004. But how many goals did Arsenal concede, do you think?
Ooh.
And it is a shot in the dark.
Yeah, it would be a complete shot in the dark, but I'm going to go for 23.
Oh, very close, mate. 26.
Yeah, and, I know there was quite. I mean, we did draw quite a few games, didn't we? But also there was some big scoring games from what I remember. We beat someone like 5-3 and stuff like that. So there was
there was a few games. But when you look at it now, being obviously Chelsea being 15, wasn't it? So and us only 5. So I'm optimistic for this season that we can try and better that. Tottenham home. Just this is what you think. That's how many goals we conceded. About I don't even want number these 100 million. But yeah, I'll get you back tomorrow, mate. Don't you worry. But no fun. So, but what I was thinking, I've been looking at this interactive quiz, so people can get involved in the chat and actually play along. It's a bit restoring order. Arsenal's the best. I'll leave that on there. But we're going to look at maybe doing this interactive quiz, but I'll probably do it another day so more people can, host people can join along. But as you're doing it, so I've got to look into it more. But as you're answering the questions, the leaderboard's kind of changing and you can kind of tell who's winning and stuff like that. So I think it'd be quite play I'll play around with that and maybe do like a midweek quiz another time. I need to play around with it and see how well it works. But yeah, could be interesting, mate. But I think just as a quick roundup, we've got obviously North London derby. I'm very much excited to see us bring home a victory. And I think 2-0 Tottenham. I'm afraid you're not going to score a goal. You're absolutely useless. North London's red. End of, But Josh, anything you want to say? Anything you want to round up with?
No, just that North London is red.
And North London forever.
North London forever.
Whatever the weather.
Our own.
Absolutely love it, mate.
Tottenham is a dive.
Yeah, literally.
I've been there. I've worked there, and it is horrible.
It's not good. It's not good.
I've got a lot of friends that are Spurs fans as well, so I can understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, they're all mental.
No, it's so true. Very true. Oh dear, all good, mate. All really good. But no, thanks again, Josh.
That's all
Josh,
right. No, pleasure.
Don't log straight out because we can chat after on here, just so I can say properly goodbye. But I'm going to play out using the new intro outro thing just for fun because I want to show it off and I want to learn to do it. So I'm going to take us out. I might even just put that. So let's play it. We'll probably stay in screen and we can watch it together. I want everyone's thoughts on this because it's feedback. Let's see how this works. Ready? I actually really like that.
Yeah,
it's all right, isn't it? I like it a lot. But mate, thanks for everyone who's tuned in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for everyone who's watched it back. And obviously, I don't know if you know, Josh, I haven't actually shared this with you, but subscriber-wise, we've over doubled since last week on YouTube, which is great. We were around 75, 80. It's over 200 now. It's actually more than doubled. So it's been really good. Been pushing it out there on all the socials, and we had a really good view count, over 500 plus views on it's actually last one. And bearing in mind, it's our first video last time together. And it's just great to catch up and talk about our favourite club, best club in North London, Mr. Tottenham, and that's why you're watching an Arsenal channel. So, yeah, exactly that. But right, me and Josh are going to say goodbye, and then we'll see you in the next one. That's next Monday, 8:30, and then we will bring obviously our kind of thoughts and feedback to everyone involved who wants to watch in regards to Arsenal smashing Tottenham, and obviously onto the Bayern Munich game. So. But thanks, everyone, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.
All right.